What's up? What's up? What's up? Hello, my beautiful Nubian queens and kings out there that are listening right now. Thank you so much for pressing play. I'm super stoked to be here. My name is Kanikia, your host for Uncharted Melanin, the podcast, a unfiltered podcast where creativity and expansion meets Black excellence. Daily raw and unfiltered content Monday through Friday, and interviews every Thursday. You aren't going to want to miss today's episode, so let's dive right in. Energy goes where attention flows. Let that sink in. Energy goes where attention flows. Yes. So, this is a mantra that I've really been reflecting on within the last 2 weeks. My really amazing friend Chloe said this to me about 2 years ago, and it always stuck with me. And I had it written down in lots of my journals, but it's something that I really haven't had at the front of my brain for essentially since she said it to me. But these last 2 weeks, I've been so focused on this mantra, this quote, and it's really just resonating with me. And today is my last day of being 27 years old, and when you all will be listening to this, it will be the first day of my 28th year. And I thought it would be really fun if I shared with you all of my takeaways that I've learned throughout my past 27, no, not all of my past 27 years in life, but I want to really reflect on the last year, number 27 of my life. And one thing that I want to start off and come right out the gate and speak to you all about is mental health. 27 was a very hard year for me mentally, financially, entrepreneurially, on every level. I have to say, when I really think of 27, it reminds me of a struggle. And I can say that openly to you and with full transparency because we all go through it. There's no need to hide this. But what really stood out to me within this past year is the ability to ask for help when I need it. That I do not have to carry the weight of the world on my shoulders. I am able to take pressure, I'm able to take external things, I'm able to take loads off of my shoulder and delegate them to other people. Learning this, I feel like we all have a general idea of course, I know that I don't have to take the world on my shoulders, but what do you do when your world literally feels like it's crumbling underneath you and you can't even ask for help because you can't even bring your lips to do it because everything is crushing you? And a topic that I really want to speak about this because I feel like I hear this a lot on social media where they say there are resources that you can go to, whether it's podcasts, talk therapy, yoga, meditation. But the truth is, this is not a resource that everybody has access to. Even knowing that there are resources out there to get us better, how do we actually go about doing it? I'm 27 years old. I am an entrepreneur, and I, at the time, did not have insurance. So therapy, out of the question. A lot of those like modalities that people speak on aren't necessarily accessible. I'm not expressing this to you for you to feel bad for me, but I want to express this to spread awareness. And I said earlier, like, how does someone really call out for help when they feel like they're being confined and constricted by all of these internal and external things that are going on. So you may even have access to some of these things like YouTube, Google, but you can be so stuck in your mind, you don't even know how to reach out for that. So one thing that really stood out to me within the year 27 is to not only advocate for myself as far as talking to my friends and saying, hey, this is what I need, X, Y, and Z, but also knowing that it is okay to be vulnerable when it comes to my mental health, when it comes to my physical health, when it comes for speaking up in every single level of my life. So, what that means for me is there was a time where I knew that I really needed to get back into therapy. And I kept saying this is something that I wanted to do. However, I felt like I had so much to do. I wasn't really thinking about getting therapy. So I had to speak with one of my friends and I had to say, hey, I need you to help keep me accountable. Can you please help me start outsourcing how I can get a therapist? Do you know any therapists that are taking clients for free or very low copays? And that was something that I wasn't necessarily aware of because previously I've had insurance and it's super easy to call and be like, hey, yeah, I need a therapist for this, this, and that. But when you don't necessarily have those resources available to you, it can be something difficult. So lesson number one is learning to speak up and self-advocate. This is also something that I've spoke about on the podcast so many times, but now as I'm really reflecting, I feel like I also have a greater appreciation for what that means and also knowing how to be an ally for someone who maybe needs to take those steps. Number two is learning to rest and recognizing and understanding that the world is not going to stop if I take a moment to sleep in or if I need to do what feels best for my heart, mind, and soul. 27 very much felt like a burnout. I'm probably going to continue emphasizing how much of a struggle 27 the year 27 was for me because it genuinely was. So one thing is as an entrepreneur, a lot of things fall on you as far as your business. You are your marketer, you're your video editor, you are the person who contacts people for interviews. And I feel like in moments when I tried to push through, it obviously showed in my work. And I obviously want to be proud of the things that I bring into fruition, not only throughout this podcast, but events that people come to, and also just coming as a business owner, being completely transparent on this journey. I feel like maybe when I first started around 26, I felt like everything is, going to be okay when you get a business. This is what you have to do, X, Y, and Z. COVID hit, and then things started to change for me financially, mentally, and I really wanted to focus on being more transparent as what really goes on as being a business owner. So that was a really good lesson for me is to rest, in order for me to produce good content, in order for me to be here and to show up 100%, I have to do what's best for me every step of the way. And for me, that means rest. Also, if you're listening and you're hearing a very loud, busy street right now, I'm recording at home. I didn't have time to go into the hub to record this episode. So thank you for bearing with me. Number three, laughing. Gots to laugh. You, not, let me rephrase that. It's important to laugh. It's important to find joy even when things aren't necessarily looking up for you. it's important to recognize that we are spirits having a human experience. And when we came into this soul contract here on earth, we knew that we would have to integrate what our spirit knew and knows into this human contract here on earth. So ways that I am able to integrate that is laughter. It's through dance. It's through taking off my shoes and walking barefoot. It's spending time in the ocean. It's spending time in solitude. It's spending time enjoying the present moment, even when things aren't good. Like I said, guys, 27 was a really rough year. And learning to not necessarily use laughter as like a coping mechanism and for like downplaying the struggle that I was going through. But what was pivotal for me is, I want to say this. Yeah, I'm just going to say it. I am not special in contrast to what is happening here on this earth. There are so many people that are going through something that is not necessarily good, and maybe it's great. But when I say that I'm not special, I mean there were people that have it worse. There were people that have it better. And despite the really shitty things that are happening on planet Earth right now, doesn't mean that I have to shame myself for having a good day. It doesn't mean I have to shame myself for finding joy within this small glimpse of a lifetime that we get a chance to live. I hope that was like a clear translation of what I was trying to say, because yeah, that was really important. I I obviously know I'm special. Yes, yes, yes. But what I mean is, I think you guys get the point. I won't continue going over that. And number four, non-attachment. That has been really huge for me. I feel like the first three things that I said, this one really wraps it in there. To be completely non-attached to the outcome of how things are, to be non attached to people, to be non attached to addictions, to be non attached to necessarily even tomorrow. Presence has been so huge for me. And again, sitting in solitude of the issues that are going on within my mental health and giving myself that time and space to be able to actually fully comprehend, maybe not necessarily like in the middle of a breakdown, but giving myself time and space to say, okay, it is okay for me to feel this emotion because I do not always have to be happy. I do not always have to be joyful. There are so many contrasts, yin and yin and yang when it comes to that. So non attachment has been huge for me. I am here to feel all of the feelings. I am here to love abundantly. I am here to be a witness. And it is right now in this moment, it is a genuine, amazing time to be alive. I have to tell you what, I am pretty excited for the shift coming up of year 28. It feels like for me, there's a new slate. I got a chance to write down some affirmations, some intentions that I want to go into the year 28 with, and I am feeling quite prepared right now. And for all of my Aries that are out here in this season, at the end of this podcast, if you want to check out on the show notes, there will be a Google file if you would like some journaling prompts as far as stepping into your new year and your new season. I have nothing but, as always, high hopes going into things. I'm very much an optimist. I think that's the word for it. And I'm really excited. I feel grateful for the lessons, the cries, the struggles, and the journey of 27. And I know that it's only going to be up from here per usual. I feel beyond grateful that I get a chance to share my voice and to be able to have this podcast and get a chance to connect with all of you. That has been such a blessing. And I actually really want to like speak about that too. This podcast has been beyond a blessing for me to just be able to channel, speak, and most importantly, connect with you all. And I say this all of the time. I feel like if you go through like every episode, I say this, but it's just the truth to me. Being able to be transparent and honest just really lights up and creates a path for you to do the same. And when I get an email or a DM on Instagram reading that this podcast has made a difference in your life and it's allowed you to do something in your life that you wouldn't have typically done, it gets my soul on fire. And even when I take breaks from the podcast to really, check in with myself, you are literally still here listening in without a doubt and always supporting me and this platform. So I just want to say thank you to you who are listening right now. My heart is genuinely like overwhelmed with joy and love. So this has been a little longer podcast compared to the ones that we do, but I have a little wine glass right here. And what I will say to you, my friends, is I am raising it up to the sky. And I am saying cheers to 28, the year of prosperity, of love, and to openness, and also getting out of debt. I need this as a timestamp. Thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate you. All my love.